You are welcome to yet another episode of LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. It's no longer news that most of the R. Kelly accusers who took part in the infamous defamation docuseries were found to have lied about very many things. If we are to list the lies told by these persons declared to be victims, the list will be endless. It looks like each one of them was looking out for an opportunity to get into the government team of witnesses, a role for which restitutions were promised. And therefore a number of them felt they could lie their way to the courtroom and fix their ages to appear as though they were 17 and underage when they started out with R. Kelly, while several others faked claims of physical abuse by R. Kelly which were never backed up with any sort of evidence. Andrea Kelly, for example, described an attack on her life by R. Kelly at the back of a Hummer and did her best to convince the world that R. Kelly almost killed her. But again, with nothing to show for it, there was nothing to prove her claims. We later found out that she was only doing this in exchange for an immunity deal the government had promised her, for she was concerned that she could get implicated for her sexual relations with some of the other accusers such as Chicago principal witness Jane, and another witness turned liar Lis Van Allen. Even witness Asriel Clary, who out of the BOP's shady conduct of leaking R. Kelly's restricted call and email records quickly became the government's principal witness in New York, was found to have left so many important truths out of her story. We now know that her mother did the enticing on R. Kelly and not the other way round. It wasn't R. Kelly convincing Asriel to be with him, but her mother who without shame picked up her daughter's phone and engaged him in romantic and mature conversations, making him believe the lie that Asriel was indeed an adult. In addition to mentoring her daughter on how to woo R. Kelly to herself, Asriel's mother was also behind most of her travels across state lines to attend R. Kelly's tour concerts, travels for which the Inappropriate Man Act charges against him were filed. Also important to remember is that this same witness carried along with her an identity card that said she was 18 years old and not 17 and a half, which would make her a minor in reference to federal law. There is definitely no crime when a man engages in sexual relations with a woman that is carrying an ID that says she is 18, and one that has been verified by the police, as was the case when she was checked by the officers at the Dolphin Hotel. Without revealing all this, we are right to conclude that Asriel was not being truthful in her testimony, and R. Kelly should therefore not be charged on her account. During the Chicago trial, we saw yet another deceitful witness take the stand and mix up her own statements, changing her mind from time to time. The trial transcript registered multiple situations where she lied and corrected herself after confrontation by Jennifer Bonjean, which by law is regarded as perjury and punishable with 5 to 10 years in prison. We recently published a video detailing the contents of the trial transcript with regard to this particular cross-examination that caught principal witness Jane off guard multiple times, and here is the link to it. The most outstanding lie, however, was that of Lis Van Allen, who maintained her story that she was underage when she first met R. Kelly for almost 2 decades, only to be busted and eliminated from the list of possible victims. The government, however, shamelessly insisted that she take the stand in Chicago to try and implicate R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid and Milton June Brown in the obstruction of justice allegations. This was an act of desperateness that shows how much the government hoped to get R. Kelly on the wrong side when it came to this particular charge, as a way to justify the false RICO charges back in New York. They were desperate to the point of presenting an already known liar as a witness with the hope that she could pin down the 3 co-accused. Meanwhile, there is a trending picture of Van Allen with her father walking her to the courtroom like she was a bride being walked down the aisle to be married off. The public already had questions to do with the parents' involvement in the cases against R. Kelly, and this is rising especially now that new text message evidence revealing the Clary parents were major players greatly changes the dynamics. The fact that Lis Van Allen's father also pretended like he didn't know when her daughter was born, in order to do the simple math and realize she was never underage, and with R. Kelly, leaves questions to what kind of parent he is. What kind of parent teams up with his daughter to scheme for undeserved restitutions after tricking an older man to be with her? Why would he even be walking the now old woman to the courthouse like she was still a baby, yet carrying a heavy load of lies in her shoulders? This case has revealed a serious parenting gap in this country that needs to be closed off with proper legislation. It was unheard of back in the years that a parent could enter into a conspiracy with his or her own daughter, in order to defraud a man by using her body as a bait. The new revelation, however, shows that this has become the order of the day, and sadly parents are getting more and more involved in such conspiracies by the day. Learning that Asriel's parents, for example, had the audacity to deploy a person supposed to be their beloved daughter, to go lure a celebrity artist to get under her pants, with instructions to take as many pictures as possible which they can always use if they wanted to blackmail him, and armed with an ID that declared her an adult, will give anyone listening to this story chills. As if planting their daughter like a time bomb was not enough, her mother goes to the extent of texting R. Kelly pretending to be the daughter and leading him on. What kind of parents are these government is partnering with to destroy a man's 30 years of hard work? Who does that? It's no doubt Lis Van Allen's father can't help but be disappointed in himself whenever he looks at the trending picture of himself walking her daughter to the courtroom to make a fool of herself, telling lies that even a 5-year-old can decode with simple math. Everyone who looks at this picture cannot help but wonder what kind of a father this man is, and why he would encourage her daughter to attempt sending 3 men who are also fathers to prison while incriminating no one else but herself. According to Willie Scott, the things people do for money can be shocking and sometimes cause endless shame to the perpetrators. It's no doubt that everyone involved in this case as a witness on the government's side was seeking financial gain, and not necessarily the justice they all claim they were looking to get. Lis Van Allen could have chosen to be truthful about her age from the very beginning and only come in as a general witness but not a victim from 2008. However, this doesn't put food on her table, and it's no wonder that when she got busted and scrapped from the victims list, she no longer wanted to testify against R. Kelly in Chicago. She literally pulled out and stayed home until she was forced to return to court and finalize her statement. Certain there was not going to be any restitutions for her, she saw nothing more to gain from the trial and sought an early exit. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.